Lion Sage Stories for Kids. Chapter 2. Who Are You?
Great, Lion Sage. Can a little mouse like me understand life and realize God, which you say is the self of all? I am not sure I am worthy.
Yes, of course you can. In fact, everyone is destined to know God. You think you are a mouse body, but you are so much more than that. Remember this, you are not your body or your mind or your emotions. In fact, you have lived in many bodies. So, who are you? Look inside you. You have not one but 5 bodies. You probably wonder, if I am not this body or this mind, then who am I? The answer is simple. You are the soul surrounded by 4 outer bodies. Isn't that wonderful? Your soul has a body of its own. This soul body is different from the other 4 bodies, which are like clothes worn over the soul body. You touch the world in your physical body. You think thoughts in the mental body. You feel emotions in the emotional body. You feel subtle energy in the pranic body. But you are not those thoughts, emotions, or sensations. You are the eternal and perfect soul, which is a body made of light and love. Through many lives, you have lived in these outer bodies that surround the soul and allow you to live and experience things in this earth world. As the soul matures, you begin to see that these bodies are not your real self. They are like layers of cloth that cover a light. Sometimes all these outer layers can seem like a burden. But one day you take off all those outer layers. When you do, you see that you are the light and the life within. This moment of freedom is quite blissful, and it is something you can look forward to as you seek the light within. And while all of this is going on, the soul is growing stronger, becoming more and more beautiful, like a piece of clay being molded by an artist into a beautiful sculpture. All of your thoughts and feelings and experiences are molding a perfect you. Every experience, even a difficult one, is molding a perfect you. Sometimes you act right, and sometimes you do the wrong thing. But deep inside you are not bad like the tan mouse. You are not good like the brown mouse. You just are, and that you is perfect. You are the soul. This is good news, little mouse, because the soul never dies. Now that you know this, you can bravely be yourself. Be the light that is the soul, the awareness that is the soul. And you can look at the outside world and the inside of you at the same time.
Wow, I never knew the inside of me was so wonderful.
Look out upon the world as if you were an executive in an office on the top floor of a tall building, looking down at the city below. You can see everything all at once. You have an overview of the city that no one on the sidewalk below can see.
Now that's a great view.
This is like the view that you enjoy when you look through the eyes of the soul. When you see from this height, your emotions don't go up and down, and you don't see things as good or bad. You just see them as they are and accept them. Why? Because you understand them. And you also understand that if you accept things as they are, you don't have to understand them. Here we are on the top of the mountains, little mouse. Hang on to my tail. Here at the top it is quiet and oh so peaceful. We see everything in the valley below and even beyond that. Everything is beautiful and perfect. We are not disturbed by anything we see. The problems of the world seem so small and far away. They cannot upset us at all. We call this mountaintop consciousness. Once we see the world from this grand perspective, we are full of understanding, full of love and forgiveness. Our view is changed forever. Even when we go back down to the valley, we can remember what we saw from the mountaintop, and that helps us appreciate life and all of its creatures. Speaking of that, let's go see a movie. The first time you see a film, you cry if it's sad or you laugh it's funny. The story seems so real that you become deeply involved in the plot and the characters. You cheer the good guys and boo the bad guys. A good movie can change your emotions. But if you watch the same movie a second time, you might get bored because you know what is going to happen. Instead of watching the story on the screen, you notice the projector light at the back of the theater. You are aware of others in the room more than you are aware of the story on the screen. You realize that this simple light from the computer or projector is making the images on the screen. The actors are just various forms of light, and it is your own mind that makes them seem real. When you understand this, the images don't seem so real, and your emotions are not affected. It's all a play of light and shadow on the screen. You might watch the movie a third time and begin to wonder about where the light comes from. You go to the projection room and see the man behind the scenes running the theater's projector. While watching the movie a fourth time, you may become aware of the music and soundtrack or the boy behind you eating popcorn. Each time you watch the film, you are seeing more, your experience is bigger, and you are less lost in the story. You are more aware of how the movie was created. Life is like that movie. But in life, you are the writer, the director, and the hero of the story you create. When we look at life like we watch a good movie, we don't ask, why did this happen to me? We know we create our own experiences, and we create how we react to those experiences. It is all within us. God Siva, the Self, is the source of the light that makes the movie that we call life. One day, you will find that light within you, little mouse. It is the light that creates your experiences. Like the projector's light created the story on the screen, be patient.
And so, as Mystic Mouse continues his training with Lion Sage, the mighty guru of the forest asks his little devotee, "Who are you?" And through the many lessons that follow, Mystic Mouse learns that he is not the physical body, he is the soul. And as the soul, he has lived in many physical bodies in many lives. He also learns about his soul nature. As he travels with Lion Sage to the penthouse and the mountaintop, he sees that the soul is detached and blissful. He and Lion Sage view a movie many times over. He then learns that as the soul naturally withdraws into itself, experiences are no longer so fascinating and he is not so attached to things. Finally, Lion Sage explains to Mystic Mouse that he and he alone is the source of all his pain and pleasure, and that as the soul he is ever blissful and free. Mystic Mouse shows great happiness with the teachings he has received so far and sits in bliss, knowing he is what he seeks and that one day he, like many before him, will realize the Self-God.
hit the like button, subscribe, and notification bell